Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Kristen.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Carol, and we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine did that age well.
This week's movie is 16 Candles. That's right, another one of John Hughes' teen fantasy relics.
Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us. Hey, everybody.
Well,
Hi.
How's it
how
going?
are we all doing?
Totally phenomenal.
Totally phenomenal. How are you doing?
Janine doesn't
Just
get to own
wonderful.
totally phenomenal.
Yes, I do.
How?
I've been saying that for years.
She has. And I always say just ducky.
What do I say?
You can use, I don't know.
I think I say fantastic.
I think you're right on that.
I think I say
Yeah.
fantastic a lot.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. So I just feel like we could just regurgitate this exact segment each week. I'll just dub it in because we just say the same exact thing.
That's
We
true.
do.
We're kind of boring in that way.
Should we just say, I'm doing terrible?
No, I mean, because we're not, and we're very lucky for that. This has been a very upsetting week in this country, and I am very, very blessed to be able to sit here on this Friday evening with you guys and talk
Yes.
about
Word.
16 Candles.
It was some much needed comedic relief this week, that's for sure.
Definitely, for sure.
Yes.
So this week, in 16 Candles, in case you've been living under a rock, this is the 1984 teen comedy where high school sophomore Samantha Baker, played by Molly Ringwald, faces a chaotic birthday as her family forgets her 16th birthday amidst the excitement of her sister's upcoming wedding. On top of being ignored at home, Samantha deals with the embarrassment of her secret crush on popular senior Jake Ryan, while fending off the relentless attention of an awkward freshman named Ted, also known as the Geek. Through a series of humorous and heartfelt events, including a disastrous school dance, a wild party, and unexpected connections, Samantha's wish for recognition and romance finally comes true in a sweet and memorable ending. This film, directed by John Hughes, blends teen angst, humor, and heartfelt moments to capture the ups and downs of adolescence. It's a wonderful synopsis.
It's a good synopsis.
It is.
So we've got Molly Ringwald starring in this movie. This is our second movie, I believe, we've seen with Ms. Ringwald. But this movie actually came out prior to The Breakfast Club. So we're actually seeing a little bit of a fresher face in this film. We didn't really dive into Molly's past or who she is or her bio for Breakfast Club. And she began her career as a child actress. And so those of us who are old enough saw her on Different Strokes, on Facts of Life, that haircut on Facts of Life. Oh my God. I think we both, Janine, I know you and I both had that haircut. I don't think, Carol, I don't think you ever, it's like the female bowl cut. Or it's just
Lucky us.
Yeah, Carol got actual cute haircuts, like cute girl things.
Because I don't think I had enough hair when this was trendy.
Maybe not. Maybe
Were you bald?
Well, I mean, thank you. But this movie came out when I was 3.
No, I know, but, like, I'm saying,
So
like, in
when
the
she was on
70s.
different, right, so I wasn't even around.
Yeah, right. So I guess the times had changed. So prior to that, so then she starred in 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, and then Pretty in Pink, which we will get to here. She was born in Roseville, California. For those who don't know California, it's Sacramento. Her parents, Adele, who was a cook, and Bob, who was a blind jazz pianist. I know that she's brought him up and she's brought him to things over the years. I believe she really, really loved her dad. She has two siblings plus an older brother who died before she was born. She started her acting career at the age of 5, appearing in a stage production of Alice in Wonderland. And she graduated from the Lycée Français of Los Angeles, which for people who don't have immersion schools, that would be the French immersion school in LA. She plays Sam Baker in this movie, who has just turned 16.
Then we have the wonderful, awesome Anthony Michael Hall.
Woo!
Yes, he is our 80s icon
Right?
for John Hughes movies. This is our third movie with him. So the first was Breakfast Club and then Weird Science. So now
Mhm.
we have him in 16 Candles. So with him, we dive
We
into his bio in episode 12 when we covered Weird Science. He has quite a background and he plays the geek in 16 Candles, which is pretty self-explanatory, especially when you watch it. It makes total sense.
I do like his character. He has definitely grown on me as an actor in the rewatches than he was to me, I think, when I originally watched them. I also think, and I could be revisionist history here, but I do always like in the 80s, seeing these movies, I always felt like he looked like dad.
Huh.
Janine's not
Okay.
agreeing with me, so I think maybe this might be
Our
revisions.
dad looked Amish.
Well, at certain parts, he had different like iterations of the fashion.
No, I see it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm visualizing both of them side by side. And yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I do appreciate his character in this movie. We'll get into it. Okay, and then we have Michael Scofling.
Scofling?
I'm gonna go with Scofling.
Shofling?
Schiffling? Shuffling?
Shuffling?
Stowifling.
Are we bad people for not knowing how to say this?
I looked it up to get like an actual
Shuffling?
like computer to tell me how to pronounce it, and I got nothing.
Shuffling seems like that could be.
I feel like it could be
Shuffling.
German and it's like Scherfling.
Oh,
Shuffling?
It's like
So-
missing an umlaut.
We'll just call him Michael.
Michael.
I'll call him Schaff.
So
Michael
the
We'll just call him
elusive.
Jake Ryan. Jake
We'll
Ryan.
just call him Jake Ryan. The
That's who
elusive
he is.
and sexy.
He is not Michael Scherfling.
I know.
Mm,
Jake Ryan. So Michael, which I'm sure he does not go by Mike. He does not seem like a person who would go by Mike, is a former actor and model. He came
Yeah, he
into
is.
he came into international prominence at the age of 23. He was 23 in his role as Jake Ryan, who is described as the popular yet sensitive high school athlete on whom Molly Ringwald's character has a crush on. After he was probably like in 7 or 8 other movies and shows after 16 Candles, and he left acting. He opened a woodworking shop. He married his current wife, and he produced or produces still handcrafted furniture.
Where at?
I know I've Googled this before, like in my life. Now, I believe he was born in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So I
Yes.
believe he is back in Pennsylvania. He
Ooh.
could be in Wilkes-Barre. I know. Look at you could have a collab.
Oh. I wonder if he has like an actual shop.
I believe he does.
Shut up.
But
Janine, we are taking a road trip to meet Jake Ryan.
His business, Schofling Originals, located in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
oh, look at that. Look at me.
You were right.
Huh. Weird.
He makes fine handcrafted furniture.
So I'm sorry, is it an actual shop?
Schofling Originals. That's what it's called.
But does it have an address?
Does it have store hours? I think that would be a fun road trip. Hopefully it's not like the Philadelphia side. Where is
It says, okay, so this is on
Wilkes-Barre.
the Michael Schofling Lovers Facebook page, and it says the name of the furniture store is whatever his last name is, Originals, located in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. He also owns real estate called Secluded Properties. This person is under the impression that it's actually an Airbnb offering more than an actual location.
Yeah, but how
So
old
look,
is he now? Like
64.
so
65.
so he may not even be doing it anymore. Why
Well, he's
wouldn't
sure
he
not
be?
going to look like 23-year-old Jake Ryan, but
Oh
still
no,
pretty
I'm
cool.
Oh, he has properties called secluded properties, which are described as being similar to Airbnbs with multiple locations.
Okay, so he should be doing pretty well.
Okay, we're going down a rabbit hole here. Okay. So we also have the Cusacks in this
Yes.
making their appearances, John and the iconic Joan Cusack. We also have Paul Dooley as Sam's dad, Billy Bird as one of her grandmas, Carol Cook as her other grandma, Max Showalter, just so many classic actors. And so definitely A+ on casting this one.
John and Joan are great in this. I love it. So now we have a budget that seems to be going around the 80s of 6.5 million.
I didn't think it's 7. I seem so rude.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
they didn't
cut
need it.
something. Yeah.
Maybe.
And it reached a box office high of 23.6 million. So it's doing pretty well.
It did pretty well. Yeah. I wish I had more data like right off the bat. What was Breakfast Club? What did they make? Oh my gosh, Breakfast Club grossed 51.5 million against a $1 million budget.
So now Molly was 16 when this filmed.
She might have just been 15 because it shot in 83 and she was July of 83. So she would have been,
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he was 23 and he was
She
born
was
in
fif-
60.
she had just turned 15 when this shot.
Okay.
She was born in 68.
She was just a wee baby.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
15 because she was
But
16.
but for once, we actually have an actor that's the same age as the character. And not kind of like Jake Ryan, where he's 23 acting to be 17 or 18.
Right. I think that's definitely what Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall brought to the table was they were the actual ages. So 16 Candles was filmed primarily in and around, Chicago North. So that Evanston, Skokie, Highland Park. And that was shot during like we said, the summer of 83. And most of the exterior and some of the interior scenes were filmed at the Niles East High School, which I believe we've heard before, near downtown Skokie. And downtown Skokie is also where they filmed Anthony Michael Hall driving the Rolls Royce. The Baker House actually has an address. It's located at 3022 Payne Street in Evanston. And it's that super Evanston vibe. Like that. Now that I knew that, I was like, oh, yeah, that definitely is Evanston. The church, which was the Glencoe Union Church, located at 263 Park Avenue in Glencoe, is where they did the parking lot and the final scenes of the movie.
So this is all similar, I believe, similar locations to Adventures in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting now felt like they were in the western suburbs of Chicago, where this is like Chicago North, more going towards like Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, critics actually really liked this movie. We have an 81% on the tomato meter, which is based on 43 reviews. I'm surprised there aren't more reviews. But it also got an
Yeah, that's weird.
85% in the popcorn meter. So it did very well with that. The Rotten Tomatoes, the critical consensus reads significantly more mature than the teen raunch comedies that define the era. 16 Candles is shot with compassion and clear respect for its characters and their hangups. I can be down with that. That's pretty good. Gene
agree.
Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. That's nuts.
That's unheard
Yeah,
of.
wow.
Go Siskel. He called it the best teenage comedy since last year's Risky Business, saying it was certain to draw a lot of laughs, but the guess here is that it also will offer comfort to young girls and boys who feel awkward. And comfort and moments of recognition are in short supply in teenage movies, which often portray a world of violence and sexual mastery that is a lie.
What the fuck is sexual
Yeah, what?
mastery?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even want to Google that. I
No.
don't even need the
No,
bots following me on that.
I don't think you should.
What? To our 2 listeners out there, could you tell us what sexual mastery is? Could you Google that for us?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
not getting that algorithm.
I'm not getting that algorithm. I've literally never seen those 2 words put together.
Yeah. Is that
Honestly.
like a college degree?
Right?
Master of sex?
A world
what?
of violence and sexual mastery.
That is a lie.
And that's he's talking about other movies, but
Right.
that's a sentence. Gene.
That's something. Interesting. Well,
Hmm.
Pauline Kael wrote in the New Yorker, it doesn't amount to much, and it's certainly not to be confused with a work of art or a work of any depth. But the young writer-director John Hughes has a knack for making you like the high school age characters better each time you hear them talk. Who the fuck are you, Pauline?
Oh, she was the one who called Madonna the trampy goddess.
The trampy goddess.
Indolent trampy goddess. So we kind of like
Yes.
her.
Did you get that tattoo yet?
Not yet.
Oh, t-shirt. We're gonna do a
T-shirt.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah.
I'll just jump on that.
Man, what does this girl like? I don't think I
Nothing.
want to know.
I mean, she's right. I mean, she doesn't give it a terrible review. I mean, it's also the New Yorker, kids. Let's remember that.
It's just the first line of it
It's-
doesn't amount to much. Like this movie has me on like rolling in laughter.
It
So,
amounts to a lot, okay?
yeah.
Not to Pauline. It
I know.
doesn't.
Well, Roger Ebert, our wonderful Roger Ebert, wrote that she provides a perfect center for the story in a sweet and funny movie.
I think he's talking about Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the most vague review you could give.
Yeah.
She is the center of the story, and she is sweet and fun. The movie is sweet and funny. So thank you, Captain Obvious.
Thanks, Guy.
Yeah, you can move along now.
Yeah. So you're ready to get into it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yep. Hey, folks. Quick moment before we dive back in. If you've been dreaming about your next getaway, I've got to shout out THK Travel Advisors. Now, I've actually used THK myself, and let me tell you, game changer. They don't just book flights and hotels, they build out a full-on experience tailored exactly to what you want. Whether you're chasing sun-drenched beaches, hidden spots in Europe, or that bucket list safari, THK handles it all. And the best part, you don't have to stress about a thing. They're with you from, I think I need a vacation, to wow, that was the trip of a lifetime. So if you're ready to travel better, not just more, head to thktravel.com and let their expert team craft your perfect escape. Seriously, you'll wonder why you ever planned a trip without them. Don't forget to tell them that the SHAA alumni sent you. All right, let's get back to the show. So we're introduced to the Baker house. It's the morning of Samantha Baker's 16th birthday, a day that she's been dreaming about. Her mom and dad are up and they're waking everybody up in the house. Everyone is prepping for Samantha's sister Ginny's wedding that is taking place tomorrow. Sam wakes up expecting something magical to happen for her birthday.
I just want to point out a couple things.
Sure.
Okay,
Go
so
for it.
we noticed that they've got this huge house. They've got that. Well, I guess they don't have a huge house. I guess it's not a huge house. It's not the Home Alone house or anything like that. But they're all sharing a bathroom. And
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that they're all having to just go to this one bathroom, which is very reminiscent of how we grew up,
Oh.
right?
Oh, yes. Yep.
So I think that's
Yep. One bathroom in this big house.
I would like to ask how old the sister is.
I don't know. I don't know how old she's being portrayed.
Because we know that Sam is now 16 on this day, and they have two other younger siblings than Sam.
I was trying to figure that out, assuming that Ginny is, say she's 21.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking 21, 22.
Right. And like Barrett and Alana are 11 years apart.
Yeah.
So it's possible. So
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I was thinking
Joey
about that
and
as well.
Lily are 11 years apart.
Right. So definitely possible. What I also, Mike doesn't get enough screen time in this movie. I feel
No.
like it just, Ginny takes over the bathroom, and one, I want that mirror. I want whatever mirror goes around my neck so my blind ass can see my face.
Oh, yeah.
So one, I need
It's pretty good.
I need that. And two, Mike saying should make for an interesting honeymoon. It's like gross, but hilarious.
That kid
Yeah,
is
I love that
funny.
the dad is like, where are you learning this stuff? He's like, at school. It's like, good.
Get my money's worth.
Yeah. So, yeah, just right off the bat, really like within the first 1 minute of the film with 800
Yes,
comments.
Yes. So Sam's on the phone with her friend Randy, and she's like, you know what? I got to go because I'm sure my family's waiting for me. They probably want to wish me a happy birthday. So she comes downstairs, and everybody, she's standing at the top of the stairs, and everybody going about their normal daily business, getting their book bags. The dad's looking for his briefcase and sort of sits down on the steps waiting for something to happen. And they all sort of leave, and it's just her and her mom. And her mom's like, what's the problem? I forgot to fix your carrots. You can have them when you get home from school. And Sam quickly realizes that every bucking forgot her birthday.
But I think that's such a pivotal line that she delivers there.
I can't believe this. They fucking forgot my birthday.
And I don't think there are a lot of, because I do think that this movie was originally rated R. But I think that they were able to somehow get it down to PG. But that delivery, and then it cuts to the next scene, I thought was just fantastic.
Yes.
I forgot
Um,
that they actually swore in this movie. Because for the
Yeah.
last, I feel like 20 years, I've just been watching the
The
TV
TV
version.
version.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Randy and Sam are talking about, well, you expected what? A big party and a band with tons of people. And Randy's like, yeah, and a pink Trans Am in the driveway with a ribbon around it, and some incredibly gorgeous guy that you met in like France. And Sam's just the pink Trans Am and the guy, right? And she says, no. Sam says, no, a black one. And Randy responds with this like snicker on her face. And she goes, a black guy? And she goes, no, a black Trans Am, a pink guy. Sam's now in independent studies and she is filling out a sex questionnaire.
We couldn't do it we couldn't text it. We couldn't
Right.
email it.
Right. And you
Couldn't print
didn't
it
have
on the
access.
dot matrix.
Yeah, you weren't printing that out on a dot matrix at a print shop.
So we were like writing this on, not that I was taking sex questionnaires, but like you were writing
come on,
these things.
Janine.
I don't remember taking any sex questionnaires. So Sam gets to this question of, have you ever done it? And she says no. And then the next question is she put, I don't know. And
Yeah.
then on the next question it says, if you answered I don't know, it's okay because your name's not on it. No one will know. So who would you do it with? And she turns around in her desk and kind of glances at Jake Ryan. So this is the first time that we see Jake. And she kind of puts her head down real fast, turns back to the questionnaire and she writes Jake Ryan.
But he's just like sitting there,
staring at
her in his sweater vest.
Yeah.
He's just, oh.
But you know what? Back then, we didn't have anything really in these types of classes to do. You're sort of sitting there. We didn't have phones to play on. We didn't you were drawing in a notebook or you were just staring
Randy's
off into
sleeping.
space.
Right.
Randy's sleeping. So I'm guessing he's sort of staring off into space. And she turns around and looks at him and he's like, what? No, why are you looking at me?
No, he's not. He's staring at her.
No, he's looking at her.
He is looking at her. He is not staring off into space. He is in love with her.
At this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, he's
Yeah.
So anyway, she writes Jake Ryan is who she would do it with. And she she folds it back up into, we used to do this back in the day, is that you would fold up your paper to look like, we called them footballs, sort of like a triangle, like a little triangle. And then she lifts it over her head and drops it behind her because, Randy is sitting right behind her. And she thinks that Randy's going to retrieve this questionnaire, but Randy's asleep. So, leans forward and he pushes it back towards himself with his foot. And he actually intercepts it and takes it. So they're out in the hallway after this independent study. And Randy and Sam are talking. And Sam's like, you swear to God you don't have it? And she's like, no, I don't have it. And so Sam is like, I would shit twice and die if anyone realizes that I wrote that. And she's like, well, who did you write down that you would do it with? And she's like, Jake Ryan. And Randy's he's taken, really taken, basically telling her this guy's way out of your league. You would never be able to do anything with Jake Ryan. So now Jake has read this questionnaire, obviously, and he starts talking to his friend in gym class, and it looks like they're actually doing pull-ups, but they're really not. They're sort of
if this
hanging.
friend is also a senior,
He looks like he's
whoa.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's late 20s, early 30s, whatever. So now, obviously, Jake is like, wow, I think I'm actually curious about this girl. Next scene we come to, Sam is getting on to the school bus to head home. And she gets on, and even the bus driver is just super nerd. He's got a Walkman on, and he's trying to give her a low five to get on the bus. And she's like, oh my God. And she looks at all the people on the bus, and it's just full of nerds and weirdos. And she's like, I loathe the bus. So she sits down with Randy and, they're talking and Randy gets off the bus and, she's like, I'm sure your parents just, they're going to make it up to you tonight. Call me later and let me know what happens. And this is where we see the geek approach Sam. And he's really laying it on thick and he keeps smelling her. Like every time she would turn her head, he keeps smelling her. And I can't remember what he says that she responds by, what were you going to say, Kristen?
Did we talk about the shower scene?
Did we? No.
So they do go to a shower scene before the end of this school day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they see Carolyn by herself in a high school shower. Kids, high school showers are no longer a thing. You will not find them in a high school, I don't think, unless it's a team locker room or swimming or something like that. But these open kind of prison showers, right?
Yeah, where everybody gets to shower together.
Everybody gets to shower together, and that's like totally normal. And she's just buck naked by herself in this high school shower.
They're kind of open.
And so this was
like,
yeah. And so we get the full frontage view of the boobies. And it was like, what are we, 10 minutes into this movie before John Hughes got us some boobs?
Yeah.
It's just, oh.
I glossed over
Well-
it because I feel like that scene is so like weird.
Well, it's
that
cringy. It's worth
And
talking about.
I know, and I kind of glossed over it because I'm like, I just blank it out. Like,
Well,
of
and
my
the
memory.
first 3 minutes was all about Sam's boobs. Like she makes a comment about not having boobs. And then Mike tells her says that she eats carrots to get boobs. So
Yeah.
we're already boob
Yeah, like
All about
there's
boobs.
it'll the
Now we're
theme
seeing
keeps
boobs.
the theme keeps going. But then you go to the scene with Jake and his friend, and they're doing
they talk about
pull-ups.
boobs.
And they
Yeah.
talk about boobs. But what I found it was funny is that they were like doing these pull-ups, but they really weren't.
No.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, that's fine. So they actually do go and look at Carolyn Mulford. Is that her last name? I can't remember. Carolyn. And so that, Randy and Sam are watching Carolyn take this shower in the gym. And they're like, oh my God, she's so perfect. I've heard she's actually got a special needs brother and like everything she does is perfect. And I hate her because she's so perfect, whatever. So now Sam's on the bus and the Ted Farmer or Farmer Ted is actually now sitting next to her. There's nobody else on the bus except Joan Cusack. And she's sitting like across the aisle from them, like in the same row. And she keeps kind of glancing over at them like, what the hell? And he's just, laying it on thick. And she actually, I don't remember what he says to her, but she calls him a fag, which is another cringe. I mean, of course, I realize that this was the early 80s.
Right. Nobody batted an eyelash at this.
Right. So
Right, I get
nowadays, now that we're rewatching it, it
Yeah.
is cringe in 2025. So Sam gets home and like, I'm going to my bedroom. I'm chill out.
Well,
Eventually
So
call Randy.
she gets off the bus, right? And
Yep.
Ted and Joan are still on the bus, and he looks at her and he goes,
Oh, girl with the hat is just so
Yeah.
phone.
I just love that. Yeah.
And I love
And
that Joan
her
Cusack's
response.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's so much awesomeness to talk about in this movie that we have to like
I
condense
know
it,
we
and
have to
so
condense it.
they
We
were
do.
like I could not pick out every single part of
I
this because I
know.
was like, we'd be talking about this for 6 hours.
We would be.
But so yes, chime in with these little tidbits because there are some things that I had sort of gloss over. So Sam goes up to her bedroom and she realizes, oh my God, my grandparents are staying in my room. And they're like half dressed in the middle of the day, which I don't really understand why. I don't know what they were getting prepared for.
Probably
So
their dinner clothes.
So
maybe.
so I want to back up. I got a little anthropological lesson here. So Ted is called Farmer Ted, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So-
what teachers would call you back in the day. They would go by your last name and then your first name. So whenever he was in class, they would essentially this is where the
his last name's not
Farmer.
Farmer.
Yes, it is.
No, farmers are freshmen. So freshmen have historically been called farmers as derogatory terms for a novice or an unsophisticated newcomer. It has no relation to agriculture and simply stems from an older negative stereotype of rural people and being ignorant and awkward. So we used to call people farmers in high school as well. So I just wanted to point that
Because
out.
his character is listed as Ted the Geek Farmer.
Right. His last name is not Farmer. He's called Farmer Ted because he's a freshman.
Okay. The note that I saw was that they got it, like when back in the day, teachers would call attendance and they would like your last name first.
Of course. Yeah. I'm just giving you the history of Farmer is
Yes.
a freshman in
So
high
that's where
school.
they got it from, was that like the teachers would say Farmer Ted. And so people just started calling him Farmer Ted because it sounded funny.
That's not why he's called Farmer Ted.
Okay.
He's called
Well,
Farmer Ted because he's a freshman in high school and he is being made fun of.
Maybe this is just
Gotcha.
a mystery we'll never know.
Mhm. Anyway, we used
Yeah.
to call people farmer if you were a freshman. If
Do
you
you
were an
graduate
upperclassman.
from farmer?
Yeah, and once you're not a freshman, you're not a farmer.
Do you get a new name
I think you do.
like cultivator?
Ooh, that'd be good. No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Or like
Inquiring minds want to
tractor driver.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sam, she kind of has a little conversation with her grandparents and she goes back down the stairs and intercepted by her grandpa Fred, who's coming out of the bathroom. And he goes, "It's Sammy Baker Davis Jr." And Sam's like, "Oh boy." And Grandma Helen, who is Grandpa Fred's wife, she comes out of the one bedroom. I think it's the younger sister's bedroom. And Fred, leave her alone. You'll make her tinkle. She's kind of looking at Sam like obviously she's grown up since she last saw her. And she whispers to her husband and she goes, "Fred, she's gotten her boobies."
And there we go.
He goes, yeah, again with the boobs. And he goes, "I better get my magnifying glass."
Oh my God.
Jeez.
How
And
horrifying would that be
yes.
for you?
And so sort of grabs her boobs and she goes, "Oh, and they're so perky." And so Sam is just disgusted. And so she runs into Mike's bedroom to lay on the bottom bunk of his bunk bed. And Long Duck Dong, who is a foreign exchange student who is actually staying with Grandpa Howard and Grandma Dorothy, is on the top bunk, and he sort of flips over the side of the bunk bed and he sticks his head down there and scares her. And so they end up at dinner and they're sitting around like the dining room table and they're all staring at Long Duck Dong. And he says, "A very clever dinner. Appetizing food fit neatly into interesting round pie." And Mike goes, "It's a quiche." And Long Duck Dong is like, "How do you spell it?" And Grandpa Fred says, "Well, you don't spell it, son. You eat it."
You eat it.
So
This
Sam
grandpa is
announces,
hilarious.
yes, he's hilarious. And so Sam announces, "You know what? I have to go. I have to go to the school dance. It's actually required. We have to take it for gym class. So I have to go." And the grandparents that are actually hosting the foreign exchange students, "I've got a wonderful idea. Long Duck Dong is like the same age as you. Why don't you take him to the dance with you?" And she's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Next scene, we come to the school dance. Sam is wearing this iconic pink, I don't know how to describe it, 80s dress. And she walks in with Randy, and immediately Sam's like, I wonder if Jake's here. And she spots him from across, the room. And of course, him and Carolyn are cuddled up, dancing on the floor. And Sam is just staring at them. And it makes eye contact, and he smiles at her. And she just turns it and runs right into Farmer Ted. And so he actually says to his friends before he goes and approaches her, I'm actually in a relationship with this girl. Oh, just watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over there and dance with her. We see that Long Duck Dong quickly meets this girl named Marlene. And Long Duck Dong says to her, this is one of the funny lines is that he says, I bet all the boys chase you around plenty, right? And she says, no one's caught me yet. So Sam has actually run out of the gym because she's just totally embarrassed by, Ted approaching her. And so in this scene, he actually starts dancing with her, but she's just standing there still, like mortified. And he's getting down. And I mean, it's horribly embarrassing for her. And so she turns around and runs out of the gym, and she's in the hallway crying because she got embarrassed in front of Jake, I think. And as she's crying in the hallway, Carolyn and her friends are coming down the hallway, and they're laughing. And Carolyn's like, oh yeah, I told some of our friends, we're having a party over at Jake's. So, why don't you guys come over? And she looks at Sam and she goes, are you okay? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And keeps walking. And, we actually see that Sam goes into the auto shop. And this is where she's sitting in one of those old simulator cars.
This was shop.
This was shop.
This was shop. I'm sorry.
Class, yeah.
Yeah, so at like the front of the car that's there, like doing repairs or whatever, so Ted comes in and he walks over to the other side of the car, and he can't get the door open. So he goes to unlock. Sam actually unlocks the door for him.
So I know that there's just so much in this movie to go through, but before Sam leaves the dance, there's a few things that happen.
Yeah.
Is that Farmer Ted is challenged because he makes it seem like he's dating her, right? Like him and Sam have something going on. And he's challenged to get girls' underpants. And then you've got Long Duck Dong and I don't even know what her name is. The tall girl,
Marlene,
and he's dancing with her,
and
she's got no bra on.
Yes,
and like I don't even know what you call that style of a t-shirt, but you can see straight through it. It's
like a baseball shirt, like colored sleeves, and
I just doing a boob count here,
yes.
and then that was, and this is where we see that iconic dance with Joan Cusack and that other girl, and they're just kind of like, how does it go? Hold on.
We love this dance.
We do love this dance. And we've been doing this dance as a family, I think, for 40 years now.
Yeah.
And we needed to mention that dance.
Yeah.
So
we also missed out on the part with her using the water fountain.
Right.
Yes.
There's just so much to discuss.
There's so much. So
much.
But I wanted to bring up the t-shirt with the see-through boob just because but then you do have Joan Cusack, who's in some sort of neck brace contraption. She's trying to get a drink of water. The normal fountain isn't giving her any water. She goes to the lower fountain. It just gets all over her face. But she happens to have this sweatshirt on with this maybe skating lady that has like a piece of cloth that she can. That's the
the-
skirt. It's like the skirt
s-
of the skating lady that she can just like,
And she like taps it on her mouth like she's being very proper. It's just great.
And she said, I just wanted a little bit of water.
yeah.
So yes, there is a part where, Ted is telling his, yeah, I'm dating this girl and I guarantee you that I'm going to have sex with her tonight. And I think it was Bryce is like, I'll bet you a box of floppy disks that you're not going to have sex with her. And like, okay, well, then you're going to have to prove that you had sex with her. And he goes, okay, well, what kind of proof do you need? And they're like, underpants. And they're like, easy. That's easy. And as he's walking away, Bryce and Cliff, they're like,
Girls underpants.
Like, oh shit. So to explain, now they're in that auto shop car and they're talking. They're actually having like a pretty good conversation where Sam's like, hey, yeah, today's actually my birthday. And he starts singing to her like, well, today's your birthday. And she's like, stop, please stop, just stop. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry you're having a shitty birthday. And he does try to like jump on top of her and she pushes him away. And it's like, listen, I mean, I promised my friend, or he says something, will you have sex with me? Like, no, I'm saving myself. And basically tells him, this is embarrassing. And he's like, oh, tell me who you're saving yourself for. And she's like, Jake Ryan. And he's like, Jake's my boy. I was just talking to him in the gym and he asked me about you. And she's like, you better not be lying to me. I'll beat your ass if you're lying to me. And he's like, no, he asked me about you. And she's like, oh my God, what should I say to him? Should I tell him, like, hi, Jake, I'm Samantha, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. I gotta go. And she goes to walk away. And he's like, wait, whoa. Hey, like, I'm like the king of the nerds. And I made a bet with my nerd friends that like we would do it tonight.
Well, he starts going, do you know anything about floppy disks?
Yeah. Do you know anything about floppy disks? They're really expensive.
She's
get
it out.
Get on with like, I gotta go. And he's like, listen, I just need to borrow your underpants for 10 minutes. And apparently she lets him borrow them. And so we kind of go back to the dance floor, the gym dance floor. And Carolyn is talking to Jake and, oh, hey, you've been weird all night. What's going on? And he's like, nothing. Everything's fine. But she kind of says, I'm like, oh, I love when your parents are out of town. I pretend like I'm your wife and we have this big, fabulous house. And Jake is just like, I mean, you can tell by the look on his face, like, what the fuck? Like, this is just not what I want.
That she's only with him for the partying and the status.
And then and the nice house and the because he's got money. I mean, I don't know that she doesn't, but so we go to a scene where they're in like the coat room and he like goes to get Jake is in there like grabbing coats and Sam walks in there and she's actually standing behind him. And they turn and face each other and he smiles at her and she just runs away from him. So
like a crazy person.
Yeah, like a crazy person. And, oh my God, I can't believe he smiled at me and I just ran away from him.
Like I'm a total weirdo introvert and so are you. And I just don't. Have you ever done that?
Run away from people?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever run. But I would just sort of like stand there with nothing to say.
Well, I don't know. Like the whole running away from someone and looking at them like with disgust.
Yeah, she was like, oh my God, why is he looking at me? And then just ran away. And it was like, that was your chance. So yeah, so then you see like Jake and Carolyn leave and Carolyn's kind of like, to her friends because Jake is obviously irritated with her. And so now we're in the boys' bathroom. And as they're walking into the bathroom, Cliff is standing there taking dollar bills from each person as they walk in. And they are paying $1 to see Sam's underpants. So they've made a business out of this. And, kind of presents the underpants. And all the guys are like, oh my God. So now we see Long Duck Dong is actually driving the grandpa's car. He's got Marlene in there. He's got Sam in there. He's smoking cigarettes. And he says, I've never been so happy in my whole life. And Marlene's like, you maniac. And so so we see the parents. So Brenda and whatever the dad's name is, they're at dinner with Rudy's parents. So Jenny is getting married to Rudy, and
It's Carl.
the Riz checks.
It's Carl.
It's Carl from the
Everything
Breakfast
else.
Club. He's in all of John Hughes movies.
Yeah, he's in a. But this brings up another point. Like something from earlier in the movie that we didn't talk about is that the Sam's parents, really the dad, refer to them as bohunks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be a good term. So I did look that up, and it's a super disparaging term one would say about Hungarians.
Oh,
And
interesting.
and so because I remember perhaps somebody in our family used that term quite a bit. And so I had to look it up, and I was like, oh no, that's not something.
That's not.
So then we get to the Riz checks. I'm like, oh yeah, you can't say bohunk.
Yeah, you can't say bohunk. So it's like it's a dinner with Rudy's parents, Jenny's parents, Jenny and Rudy.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in this scene, Rudy is wearing a dress shirt and a tie with a polo over. And he's got the polo unbuttoned, and like the shirt is open, so you can see like the dress shirt and the tie underneath it, and a suit jacket. So I don't know if that was a thing back in the 80s. Like, was that a style back then? It's interesting. So yeah,
Like he was trying to make his own vest.
Yeah, it was just weird. So this is where the Riz chat kind of talking about how Rudy, he's got to give up the Girl of the Month club because now he's getting married to Ginny, and the parents of
This is so
Ginny's
awkward.
parents are like, "Oh my God, this is
Our daughter's
awful."
marrying this guy.
Yeah. So Dong drops Sam off at home, and he tells Marlene like, "Hey, let's go boogie," and they end up at Jake's, and the house is just absolutely trash. There are hundreds of kids there. And, originally Carolyn had only like a couple friends to come over after the dance, and it turned into this whole ordeal. And he's walking around looking at this house. Like, there's toilet paper out in all the trees. People are everywhere. Like, he's walking around picking up like beer cans because this is my house, and he's pissed. Carolyn just totally took advantage of me and disregarded my house. And
Marlene dropped weights through the ceiling.
yeah, so I mean, there's
this was like major damage done to this house.
yeah, like I'm in
Structural
my mind.
damage has been
Yes.
done
Right.
to this
This
house.
isn't just a hurry up and clean it. Like
No,
In
there's,
my
there's
mind-
major shit going on.
I know.
As a grown adult, I'm watching this scene and I'm like, oh my God, if my kid would have done like,
Ugh.
think about the insurance claim on
oh
that.
my God.
How much it would have cost to fix all of that damage. Like, there were bubbles coming out of the heating
Out of the
duct.
vents.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I can't even imagine how much damage was done to that house. So Jake is so mad that he just goes up to his bedroom and he pulls out his yearbook and he starts looking for Sam in the yearbook, and she's just a little tiny baby.
She's just a little boy.
She just
in a
looks like a
yearbook.
little, yeah, she looks like a little boy, like a 10-year-old
She looks like
boy.
my 7th grade yearbook picture.
Yes. And so he's looking at it, and Carolyn comes up the stairs and she's wasted. And like, Jakey, did you stop loving me? And he slams the door because she like sits down on the ground. He slams the door, and the back of her
Leave me
hair,
alone.
leave me alone. And her hair gets caught in the door. And so we see her friends they're wearing minks and pearls. And so obviously they've gotten into the parents' room, which
I think that's theirs. They didn't
They
get
were
into the
wearing
parents'
minks.
room. They're wearing their own shit.
They wore minks and pearls to this party.
Like
I think they got into
80s?
the parents' bedroom.
No.
I think they got in the parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were wearing their own minks to this party, but well, okay, whatever. Anyway, they're wearing minks and pearls, and like the pearls get caught on the banister of the stairs, and there's pearls everywhere. Sort of trying to pick them up, but they're really drunk, and they're Carol, guys, you got to help me. My hair's caught in the door. And somehow one of them come up with a giant pair of scissors.
That was like
and,
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman
size
Pee Wee Herman scissors.
scissors.
Yes, and the one girl just hacks her hair
Because
off.
the solution couldn't have been open
open
the
the
door.
Open the door
Nope.
because her hair is caught in the door.
Nope.
No, let's just cut her hair off. And
Yep.
so there's this giant chunk of hair missing from the back of her head. So that was real fun. Ted and, his friends, his geek friends, Bryce and Cliff, they show up at the party and, kind of talking to his friends. And he's like, hey, you got to be on your best behavior. When you go in, make sure that you're polite, Jake's parents. And this is not the kind of party that the parents are attending. So he actually walks up to the door and he's, stop acting like an idiot or whatever. And this is another point where Ted said, don't be such faggots. So there's another little cringy part. So we go back to Jake in his bedroom and he actually picks up the phone. I don't know. Did the yearbook have like people's phone numbers in
No.
it? Where did he get the
I
phone
guess
number
maybe
from?
just the white pages.
Yeah.
I don't
phone
know.
book.
Okay, so kids,
So
we had telephone books back then, and you had 2 or 3 different kinds of phone books. There were the white pages, so those are your residential phone numbers. So if you wanted to call somebody, you would just look up their phone number in the white pages. As long as you relatively knew where they lived, they would have the person's last name, usually the father or mother's first name, the address, and then the phone number. So if you're looking for Janine Zabriskie on Lakeland, you would find the phone number. There's the yellow pages, which was for businesses. And so he could have, I think he just looked it up in the white pages.
okay, so he calls Sam and Sam does have her own phone line, but the grandparents are staying in her room and they're sleeping. And so he calls and it rings and rings and rings. And then finally, like the grandma picks it up and he's actually hanging up the phone at the same time. It's like, oh, bite me. He hangs up and, oh my gosh. And then the grandma, well, who
My
was it? And
version said eat me.
eat me as opposed to
Eat
bite
me.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it says, eat me. So the girl's like, well, who was it? She's like, I don't know. Well, what do they want? And she goes, sex. Which I don't know that that's what I would get from eat me.
No.
Yeah, so he calls and then he calls back. And the grandma answers the phone and she's like, hello, hello. And he's like very kind and he's like, yes, hello. Well, the grandpa grabs the phone out of her hand, and he's like, yes, hello, sir. I'm trying to reach Samantha. Is this Sam's phone number and can I speak to her? And the grandpa's like, yes, it is. And no, you may not. And hangs up the phone on him. So anyway, Jake actually did call her. He tried to reach out to her, but the grandparents intercepted that.
So far, we've covered a forgotten birthday, touchy-feely grandparents, and about 15 different ways to get canceled in 2025. Jake's house is trashed, and we haven't even gotten to the wedding day yet. That's where we'll pick up in part 2 on Thursday, because this movie still has quite a lot of questionable ground to cover. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening.